for an 8-5 victory, and he is a complete curler too.
Well, this team really plays a control game. They're the 1995 Byron World Champions, going 10-0 in that World Final in Brandon. They love to control the area in front of the rings. They play very aggressive. They're a great team at the little hits and rolls in behind cover. They're also going to be very tough to beat, and when they're hot, Kerry Burtnyk can be the toughest team on the tour.
Well, as they get ready to match up, Wayne Middaugh is 2-1 in history against Burtnyk. What's their strategy for tonight? We asked both skips on what they expect to see.
Same way we play everybody else. We wait till the first rock stops, and then we go around it and try and score more points than he does.
Our game is the aggressive style. We like to try and go out and be aggressive early and try and get control, much like Wayne does. So I would assume you're going to see two teams going after each other in the early going, and whoever gets the jump will probably then try to get maybe a little bit more defensive or apply a little more pressure. But that's basically what our strategy is for whoever we play, and I don't think we'll change it all playing Wayne.
Well, Burtnyk gave us the explanation. Middaugh was straight to the point. What kind of game do you expect, Ed?
Well, I think the favorite in this game is Middaugh. Nobody's been able to beat him for a long time, and he's just winning these events. He's got it on autopilot. These guys just can do everything they want out there, so it's up to Burtnyk to see if he can upset the strategy of Middaugh in this game tonight. Well,
both teams cleared for takeoff. We're ready to go. The championship of the GMC World Curling Tour stop in London, Ontario. Burtnyk and Middaugh. It's going to be a good one. Get ready.
The most powerful Vortec engine ever made. Four-wheel disc anti-lock brakes standard. And the largest, most comfortable cab we've ever built. The totally redesigned Sierra by GMC. Now that's a truck, I'll say.
How far would you walk for someone you love? How far would you go to help end muscular dystrophy, breast cancer, and Alzheimer's? John Davidson is walking across Canada to raise money for research that promises a brighter future for thousands of Canadian families affected by genetic diseases. This is John's tribute to his son Jesse. It's Jesse's journey, and it's our journey too. Please give generously at any branch of the Royal Bank.
Break it down.
What's it really like?
Yeah. Break it down.
CTV Sportsnet's coverage of the GMC World Curling Tour is brought to you by GMC, makers of the totally redesigned Sierra and proud sponsor of the GMC World Curling Tour. By Molson, what beer's all about. And by M&M Meat Shops, hundreds of meal ideas all in one aisle.
Inside the Highland Country Club in London, Ontario, ready for the final of the M&M Meat Shops Charity Classic. Ed Lukowicz, give us a rundown on the ice conditions.
Well, high marks to ice maker Jim Champagne. He's been the ice maker here for 8 years at the Highland Club, and he's given us very good ice. A little straighter than other weeks, only 2 to 2.5 feet of curl around a center guard, but that may curl more as it widens out. Inside out around a corner guard, 3 feet of curl. Some things to look for in the ice today is that around the edge of the forefoot, right there, it can be very straight towards the board, so you have to watch for that in the game. Also, we might see a little more curl as the ice goes and as we get more into the game. So back to you, Rob.
The GMC World Curling Tour is got some rules that these curlers must abide by, and they go with the 3-rock rule governed in the free guard zone. 75 minutes per team to play, including 2 one-minute timeouts. They must play 8 ends minimum before shaking hands. Taking a look at the rock colors for tonight's championship final. Kerry Burtnyk will be throwing the red stones. He has got the hammer. Wayne Middaugh, the yellow stones, and his team will begin as we get ready for the final. The first 2 winners on the GMC World Curling Tour is seen on CTV Sportsnet matchup tonight. Scott Bailey throwing first stones for Wayne Middaugh, Ian Tetley the second, Graham McCarroll the third, and Wayne Middaugh.
Center line, yep.
Well, in the opening, we heard that how aggressive these 2 skips like to be, and obviously they both would like to jump into a 2 or 3 point lead here on the first end. So there's the first guard, and Kerry's going to be going behind that one right away.
Well, beginning for Kerry Burtnyk, team playing out of Assiniboine in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Keith Fenton, followed by Rob Meakin, then Jeff Ryan, and skip Kerry Burtnyk. Keith Fenton, a 38-year-old, been curling for 25 years, had a little bit of trouble yesterday in the semifinal with the weight.
Yeah, it was very, very keen. We're seeing times here that are, normally during the week it was around 14.5 seconds on a draw from hog to hog, but that quickened up yesterday. We were seeing times of 15.5 to 16.5.
And draws in and around the corner. Second stone now for Scott Bailey. Bailey did not throw lead stones yesterday. He and Ian Tetley kind of switched things around. Graham McCarroll missed the semifinal because of an illness to his father. He's back for the final. Ian Tetley threw 3 stones, then Scott Bailey, followed by Wayne Middaugh.
Line's perfect. Whoa, for Wayne. Line's real good.
A good start to this end. The guard played out up front, and then Keith Fenton tucks one right in, and now the corner frees by the Middaugh team.
Graham McCarroll, a 37-year-old who lives in Brampton, was not here yesterday. Illness to his father. Father's stable tonight, and he has made his way to London for the championship final.
And our wishes certainly are with the family. Fenton with his next stone. I think it hits it.
Good line.
Good sweeping, keeping it clean.
How's the weight? Good.
Feet well to the side, letting the thrower and the skip see the entire rock, especially the edges of the stone.
Okay, rock.
Well positioned, but he may have tapped that yellow in for shot stone, so let's see what Middaugh here does here. Does he go with the guard?
Right on it.
He's called Ian Tetley to come right into the rings, play another freeze right to those 2 stones sitting in the 8-foot.
Line's tight. Yep. Through.
Very strong sweeping here.
Yep.
Scott Bailey is just an incredible sweeper. You can see the power he gets on the brush. Little tight here on the release, and they tried to hold it. And he just sneaks by.
Okay, Barry.
All right, but a good guard and a good angle on all those rocks up front.
Good work, too, by the front end of Bailey.
Oh, look
and
at that
Tetley.
sweeping. Scott leaning on that brush right next to the rock. Help from Graham, and then the skipper comes out to give it a couple as well.
Interesting call late, too, by Middaugh, saying let it
Unless you
rub.
want to try and come in here.
The first shot. I like that.
Okay.
Rob Meakin. Strong part of the Kerry Burtnyk foursome.
And what a game he had in the final of week 1, making 2 doubles on the last end to cinch the match and the title.
Freeze.
Quite a bit of weight. They're just letting it move.
And it comes, little bump and into the 4-foot.
Shot.
Looks like now it is shot stone.
Yeah, they would have liked to have gotten that by at the end, and Kerry called for that, but it just moved a hair and did rub.
If you touch ours, it's going out through the hole. Back in here. Board.
Tetley.
Scott Bailey and Graham McCarroll now waiting for that rock to move. And there it comes.
Shot that.
Hit and roll.
Not quite enough of a roll available to Burtnyk.
There.
Rob Bacon with his last stone at the end.
Calling for a hit and roll to the outside.
Hard! Hard all the way!
They're going on this rock all the way.
Hurry!
Right on the beak.
Gets the one hit, takes it out. Looks like the Yellowstone belonging to Wayne Middaugh is still shot. Very tight, though, around the button.
Well, with that corner freeze there, we're going to see a few rocks moving.
He knows that. We're going to leave him a double.
You throw peel at it. Does that jam and you roll right off?
Ours is probably going to, with peel, it's going to spin back out.
What if we just move him to the back four? Oh, if you well do him, yeah.
Up here. Okay, I think that's better. Fine.
Hey,
Fine.
37-year-old Graham McCarroll.
All-star at the Brier
Copy.
and the Worlds.
Whoa.
And he's added so much to this team. He's been a great third in Ontario for a number of years, and he's finally come into his own. Finally the top player there at the third position.
Right in the pocket. Good.
Yep. Hard.
Harder!
Hard.
Hurry!
Strong sweeping by Ian and Scott.
And they wanted it right up to the stone, and very nicely done for Graham McCarroll. Now we'll see the work of Jeff Ryan. Kerry Burtnyk taking a good look at this.
We could play a bump.
Yeah.
Either that or might even want to run the double peel.
Yeah.
Let's run the double peel.
Things not quite sitting here the way Burtnyk likes, so he says, well, let's yellow on a yellow, drive it back, see if we can get fortunate and come out of this looking better than we are right now.
Jeff Ryan.
Yeah. Whoa! Hurry, whoa!
Serving this one up
Hurry!
with some
Hard!
heat.
Thanks.
Whoa!
Got to move a little bit more.
Oh, he peeled off the two yellows nicely. Now he's got a little action going right in the ring.
Well, he certainly opened it up. They needed a little bit more curl to get the double raise straight back. Here it comes. It has to curl a little bit more to get the direct raise on the second yellow. But he has opened it up, so with Burtnyk having the hammer here, I think he's pretty happy with that shot. He wanted to keep it open a little bit in the last rock, try and leave himself something here. Same path as his first one for Graham McCarroll. Same weight, just come down again, just to the front ring. He's throwing less weight.
Just over. Just over, curl a bit. Whoa! Just over. Just over. That's the line.
Started to curl a little bit too much, Rob, so they just want to play it a little higher than what they wanted.
Hard! 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 That's good.
And it's still starting to drop off that center line very quickly. If he gets in there and losing any speed, it just kind of dies and dives that one side.
That might not be bad. Is come down and just bump this into here.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that. T-line weight.
Well, what an accumulation of granite in there, Rob. 3 reds, 2 yellows, sitting all angled, frozen to each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Oh, lots of weight.
Whoa! Lots of weight.
Back line. Way too much. Oh.
This one's really hanging out.
Too much. He's going to
There it moves now.
punch the one he doesn't want, really.
Yeah, didn't accomplish much with that. Just added
that's
another
all right.
red into the rings.
Well, as it stands, Ryan last night had a little bit of trouble in the semifinal, as he said, and he was joking with us afterwards. I couldn't make a draw until the 8th end. Well, he made a good one in the 8th end.
Yeah, he finally came through at the end of the game. He struggled a lot last night, particularly with his draw weight. It was keener than it was the rest of the week, and it just took a long time to find draw weight.
Getting ready now for the Skip Stones here in the first end of the final of the M&M Meat Shops Charity Classic.
Is there room to do that? Double that? With an out turn. Ours goes now. You can go here too. Huh? Oh, it curls all day to there. He was a little bit heavy and it still came up to here. He hammers it, what happens? Huh? He hits this, what happens? That one jams. I guard that. This one jams. That one goes out and goes out and stays. He probably sits 2. That's why if you kill these. Yeah. Yeah. I don't care what he does there. Yeah, he probably sits, probably just the back one maybe. Yeah. Maybe the front one. He still might sit 2. May. That's pretty tough, eh? There's not much room there. Cross it? Yeah. Not much room there to make this.
Rob, in this situation, they're trying to lay as many as they can, but they're also trying to be very careful that they don't set the opponent up for an easy 3 or 4.
I don't think that's that easy.
Interesting to watch the dynamic as well with Graham McCarroll back on this squad.
I'm just thinking normal crack. It's got a curl by the guard.
Okay, out turn.
That should be good. More?
Wants to curl across the face of this stone. Play the double and roll away.
He's got lots of weight coming through that little portal. Bumps the red, bumps 2 reds out of the way.
Exactly what he played. A beautiful double and rolled away with his shooter so that Burtnyk could not come off his shooter.
Thanks. Thanks.
There we see it. Good sweeping, good call. Graham McCarroll right down there, having a good look, and the angle was perfect for the double. Inch or 2 by the guard. Hits it right where he wants. 2 reds gone. And the shooter went away, and he didn't want to leave that one there for Burtnyk to roll in off of to lay another point.
Risky, but what if he hit that?
Yeah, that just leaves. No.
Okay.
Couple of opportunities here for Kerry Burtnyk. Could have come on the in turn, but looks like he's chosen the out turn yellow and just tap up his own red right around the button for shot stone. Has to be very careful to what he does with his shooter. He doesn't want to roll his shooter away.
Nice to cross the face a little bit. Yeah. So what is it again?
Stone from Kerry Burtnyk. Skip.
Whoa, whoa.
Stay with it.
In our game last night, Kerry Burtnyk had excellent control of his draw weight, made many fine draws. And that's been his strength this year, is his draw shot.
He wants to bump the yellow to bump the red back.
Double tap, and it is shot stone, the red.
Even got a good shot out of Wayne Middaugh.
Am I going to just sit there and leave him a double for $1 billion? Because mine, if I make this,
this is going to sit here.
That's right. This is going to sit here.
That's all right. You might not be able to get at it.
No, because my shooter, well, unless my shooter stays right there. Right? Yeah. My shooter's got to stay there, is the key. That's the shot if I can get it.
Will it go to there?
Oh, yeah. It'll go in there good. I threw that actually in practice. With forward weight. If I can, yeah, as long as I can leave my shooter right there.
Okay.
That's a peach.
Okay, I won't get real cute with it, though.
What do I got if I wreck, he's got nothing. All he can do is draw for 2 if I wreck anyways, right?
Well, or he taps us for 2.
Taps for 2.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So, the worst thing I can do is hit it high side.
Ah, you're not doing that anyway.
Hack. Try and get the back one right out and sit right there. See, I want to sit right on the center line.
Yeah.
Hack weight right on the nose, pretty good.
There's a guard in front of the ring, but Wayne Middaugh wants to come tight to that guard, play the raised red onto yellow, onto red, move the red out, but he really wants to keep his shooter right in front here to block the next shot for Burtnyk.
Pretty good shape.
Wayne Middaugh from St. George's off the Country Club.
Coming with board weight, and they're waiting for a move. There it comes.
It's gonna get by the guard.
Oh, and a beautiful shot. And there he keeps that shooter right at the top ring to cover his own 2 yellows. Wow, what a shot.
A hair heavy, too.
It's never quite satisfied. And here we see the sweep. Wow, they have to work it hard now. They waited for the curl, but there it comes. And hits it precisely where they want, and the shooter stays right there for the guard. Broom's working nicely, inch by the guard. A little bit of finish there, too. Came in real nice for him, and that's sitting just the way he wanted.
Just a hair more.
To get them all to roll, too, after the big wave. See what it looks like over here. Oh, there's room to do it. Okay. If I hit it a little high, I'm probably going to spin off those reds and kill one of the yellows.
Yeah.
Kerry Burtnyk has a very tough shot for his last stone here in the first end. Must come tight to the guard with big weight. Come as tight as he can to the guard and see if he can spill out all 3 of the yellows. It's a very tough angle.
Did he say he just wanted board weight with this?
Oh, I think he's going to throw big weight. Into his backswing. Yeah, he's coming out with heel weight. This one's hanging. He may get lucky off his own, but then he may get unlucky too. He's way out.
Okay, there's 1, 2. Oh, a steal of 2 right now for Wayne Middaugh. That's how he opens up the first end. Middaugh stealing a pair to begin this final of the M&M Meat Shops Charity Classic in London, Ontario, part of the GMC World Curling Tour.
The kids wanted to go out for some Mexican food. You decided to take them someplace really authentic. Finally, a minivan built for drivers. 180 horsepower V6, standard 4-wheel ABS, traction control. The Pontiac Transport.
Yes. I'd like to get some mutual funds. Okay, Mr. Wheeler, you kindly put your head in the vise and we'll get started. Now, when I say the letters FI, I'm referring to bond funds, S equities, and C, well, money markets. Now, let's take a peek at a few of the funds available to you and how their standard deviations compare to their compounded annual returns. Before we calculate...
There is a quick and painless way to get the right mix of mutual funds. Matchmaker, available at Bank of Montreal. It doesn't have to be complicated.
Break it down.
What's it really like?
Yeah. Break it down.
An infinite number of monkeys on an infinite number of typewriters will eventually define all that is Canada.
Gentlemen, down south, we have trouble following your puck. So what we want to do is introduce this blue streak on screen every time someone passes the puck. And when they shoot it, red streak. Blue pass, red shoot. You get it, boys?
Well, we've got an edition of The Edge after just one end of play in the final here in London.
Kerry Burtnyk here had a chance to draw in for the single point with his last shot, the hammer at the end, but he chose a very difficult triple. Not much room by this guard, and he gets a little outside on it and hangs it out there, and it never ever curls for him, and he gives up a big steal of 2 to Wayne Middaugh right in the first end. He should have drawn.
So an edge for Wayne Middaugh, who steals a pair in the first end. Action here, the M&M Meat Shops Charity Classic. They expect to raise over $8,000 for their charity, which is Crohn's and colitis. Great work by the committee here in London, Ontario. M&M Meat Shops also holds a charity golf tournament in the summer where they raise a lot more cash for their charity, Crohn's and colitis, and good job all around. As we watch the first stone from Scott Bailey, Burtnyk still holds the hammer.
Scott playing right to the top of the 4-foot, as Wayne indicated, and he gets the 8-foot. Kerry Burtnyk, being the veteran he is, isn't going to let that upset him too much. He's going to play a corner guard here, see if he can kind of get back in the game. But I think he wishes he had drawn there, but obviously he felt if he came tight to the guard, he could either spill all 3 or keep Wayne Middaugh to only a single point steal. Didn't quite work out for him. Keith Fenton placing that guard once at halfway between the hog and the rings. That's about the best spot to get it, so you can draw around it later and tuck some guard rocks in behind it.
Shot. Over here.
Spoke with Wayne Middaugh before the game, and in this situation, when he's up, he says he throws the first one in the rings. When he's only one up, they play the corner guard. Then he comes with the guard. And so we can expect this one to be short of the rings, square in front of his own.
Over curl. Over curl. Whoa.
Yeah, there we're seeing big move. We've seen it in a few other games coming on that in turn.
Well, I'll leave it then. Just took off.
That just went when it got to the center line. It just started to take off. Let's take a look at the draw on the 16-team field, and this the 8 made it to the quarterfinals. Jeff McCready, the team that defeated Wayne Middaugh earlier in the event, faced them in the semifinals. Wayne Middaugh advancing after he beat Rich Moffat, Kerry Burtnyk in a rematch of the Molson Winnipeg Classic, defeating Jeff Stoughton in a route and a ticket to the title.
Both teams are in their 8th game of the Bonspiel. Middaugh qualified through the B. Burtnyk lost 2 and went down to the C. Had to fight his way through the trenches of C, but came through that, and now he's in the final.
After the semifinals, there's discussion on the format, and these guys like that triple knockout. They really like the fact that you get that opportunity. So there's been some talk about perhaps going to a double knockout format, but they like the triple knockout. Gives them a chance, as they say, to adjust to the ice.
Yeah, that's the big factor. Whenever you go from one rink to another, from one city to another, to one tour event, you always find that the ice is different in every city, and it takes you 2 or 3 or 4 games to really get onto it, and then finally when you do, then you can start playing a little bit more like a machine. So teams like to have a couple of chances, particularly if you're playing a hometown team. You go into their rink and they curl on that ice all the time. You come into it, and the hometown advantage of hometown ice is huge.
Yeah, you can get spanked early by a hometown team, and it's nice that they have the opportunity to work their way back in either on the B or C side. Rob Meakin.
This Burtnyk team together since 1994, and then they won the Byron Worlds in '95, going 10-0 at the Worlds in Brandon, defeating Gordon Muirhead from Scotland 4-2 in that final.
And they're about the only Manitoba rink that stayed intact.
They've had the shuffle on in Manitoba this year. All sorts of players, and of course the big situation with Dale Duguid leaving his Manitoba champions from last year and going out to BC to curl with Merv Bodnarchuk and skip that team.
Well, Bodnarchuk had that big void when the other player left him. That player, let me get his name. Lukowicz, was it? So the Earthquake was the only one to fill in?
Well, they got a pretty suitable substitute there. Dale Duguid coming in to skip that team. He's really played well the last couple of years. And he's
Does he call you for tips? You know, you used to be there. Does he call you for tips?
Well, I think that he's playing much better than I am nowadays, so we'll leave it at that.
Okay, good line. Yep.
A little cleaner end here in the second.
Yeah, trying to use this shot Yellowstone as a guard coming in behind it. Like to take it as deep as they can, even to the back ring, as long as it is tucked in behind and buried. But they don't get it there.
Now ready for Graham McCarroll here in the second end.
And what an October this Middaugh team has had. They're 26-1.
Yep.
Winning everything in sight.
Now we should mention too, Middaugh's doing it with a number of characters.
Right up.
Just able to hold that, and pretty nice roll. Great sweeping.
Last week in Sault Ste. Marie, Ian Tetley wasn't there because he had a business commitment. Dave Carruthers filled in for him. This week, Graham McCarroll had the illness in his family. And so Dave Carruthers, the alternate, couldn't play. He's got a back injury, so they went with 3. So they've done very well shuffling in different parts.
Yeah, they've played a number of the games here with 3. Graham McCarroll has played a few of them. It's good to see him here tonight for the final.
He slides into the 12-foot. Shot stone is the Middaugh yellow in the back of the house.
Just to tell you what kind of a month this Middaugh team has had, they won the Weston in Toronto, 5,000 first. That wasn't a tour event, but, you know, 5,000 in the pocket's not bad. The SGI, 15,000 2 weeks ago. Last weekend, the Regal Capital at the Sioux, 15,000. And now aiming at 14,000 first at this event.
Harder. Yep. Wow.
Graham McCarroll hitting and staying, rolling a little bit to lie 2.
Okay.
A good aggressive call by Kerry Burtnyk, playing the freeze. Playing rather tight ice because, as I mentioned, in our ice conditions, sometimes going inside out here, the rocks will run very straight once you get to the corner of the 4-foot, and that is because the wings of the ice towards the boards are a little bit high.
Way out there.
Never.
Way out there. No line.
And we're not getting the curl. It's holding straight. And wow, that just came down the edge of the 4-foot all the way, and I don't even think it curled a foot.
And does it come out? It bites at the back of the house. Now, the Burtnyk foursome has taken advantage of the great weather in southwestern Ontario on a great golf course here at Highland. And this is how they've been warming up for their game. Look at this. 2-man scramble. Jeff Ryan nails the putt on 18 to settle the score. It was Meakin and Burtnyk against Fenton and Ryan. Apparently they're going on tour.
Well, the other day they went golfing, came out and won their next curling game 8-0. The next one 7-2. So why not go back to the golf course if it's working?
Nice touch for Ryan on the green. Before tonight's final, our crew had a little putting contest.
That back red biter, not a concern to Wayne Middaugh here. Feels that, you know, not really a factor. So he's playing a draw tap.
Should be lots. Should be lots.
Ooh, should be lots.
Whoa! No.
Wayne says lots of weight.
No.
Where are you?
No. No. Don't touch.
Not bad.
No. Don't touch.
Inside out from the center line. There is some curl. There it comes.
Take this one, Peppy. Hard. Hard, 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 hard. This up. Hard, 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 hard. That's good.
At the end, they tried to get a split and roll both to the top of the 8-foot, kind of give Burtnyk a problem as to which one he should go after.
Steal of 2 by Wayne Middaugh in the first end. Kerry Burtnyk with the hammer, taking a look now.
Turn easy weight.
Kind of weight easy.
Yeah.
As we saw with the red stone on the other side, it traveled very straight inside out once it got past there. So Kerry Burtnyk is taking fairly tight ice and not even throwing too much weight, looking for a little inside roll. But this ice is very straight inside out because the wings are a little high. .89% in the semifinal for Kerry Burtnyk, and he has played well this month in Winnipeg and here as well. He's really carried his team.
Yeah. Whoa!
Quite a bit of weight, more than he probably wanted to throw. Now they're on it.
Whoa!
It's the
oh, nice roll. Beautiful call.
He gets a little bit of cover behind that yellow.
Well, it's some protection, but a fairly short raise for Wayne Middaugh.
You threw this in practice, eh? The rock was right there.
Yeah.
In practice. Which way?
Keeping it clean, working it hard now.
Yeah.
Jeff Ryan picking up the roll.
It won't be firm.
Right in behind.
Yeah, just. Okay.
Needing him
This is
just
the
a
same
little
shot I
more
threw in
roll.
practice. Remember you were standing there? And I hit it right on the nose. Just follow. I think it's all I need, eh? Because I can cross it here. Just follow.
Wayne Middaugh releasing.
Now he's throwing control weight here. It should move a bit for him. There it comes. Now they're on the sweep. Back and buried as well. What a shot. Oh, what's this guy playing?
Now with 3. Counting. Kerry Burtnyk's
Not only
final
does he
stone.
make the raised takeout, but look at this. He rolls that rock right in behind his own guard that's in the front ring. Beautiful shot. Brownie brushes, hitting it, striking it, rolling it a tiny bit. Big pressure here early on Kerry Burtnyk, down 2 already, facing 3, but he's always had his draw weight this month, so and he's played well.
Yeah.
Burtnyk's team using the 8-ender hair brushes. Looks like it needs it.
Easy. Have a look. Yeah. Yeah. Come on. Easy. Whoa.
Good judging here by the sweepers. Lots of glide now.
Weight.
Will it stop in time?
I don't think it's going to. I think it's going to be a steal. It is a steal of 1 for Wayne Middaugh. After deuce in the first, he has stolen another. It is now 3-0 for Middaugh in London, Ontario at the Highland Club.
The road traveled by the used vehicle buyer is getting smoother. With Optimum from General Motors, where surprises are avoided. Where you enjoy inspection, certification, and the protection of warranty coverage. General Motors' commitment to you doesn't end when you drive off. It begins. Relax. The road ahead is Optimum.
Dinner shouldn't take longer to buy. than it does to prepare. Everything it takes to make a meal like this, you can get in minutes. Small, fast, friendly, and helpful. M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of quality meal ideas. One aisle.
This is our arena, admission is free. This is our ice time, no referee. Maybe not professional, we're chasing box way down the hill. So watch out when our home team gets to me. This is our beer, this is our beer.
It's business as usual on Spin City.
We represent the mayor. We should always be taken seriously.
The wheels are spinning at City Hall. And then Sports Night, a comedic look at a cable sports show.
You don't look so good. Well, you know, there's research data that suggests a considerable portion of our viewers think that I'm the cute one.
Yeah, well, that same research data suggests that a considerable portion of our viewers are men.
Spin City and Sports Night, tomorrow on CTV.
At St. Paul's Anglican Church here in London, Ontario. The site of the M&M Meat Shops Charity Classic. And after 2 ends of play, it is 3-0. Here are the money leaders coming into this week of competition. Wayne Middaugh with $26,000. Then Russ Howard at over 23. Kevin Martin. Guy Hemmings with 16. And Jeff Stoughton, 15-4. $14,000 first prize money. And that is Caitlin Bailey with wife Robin. Interested spectators here at the Highland Country Club, and they've been ringside to watch the activity, and we can tell you that Caitlin from time to time has been fairly vocal, urging on Dad.
Likes to say a few things during the game. 10 weeks old. Beautiful little baby.
Got Bailey, a contractor out of Brampton, Ontario. Well, we saw this last night in the second semifinal between Burtnyk and Stoughton, where he almost wanted to decline having the hammer.
Yeah, they couldn't get rid of it quick enough because they weren't doing well with it. Nice weight there by Scott Bailey. Right where they wanted that one, top of the forefoot. Now they can guard it on their next shot.
Why? Where do you want it? What corner? I'd like it on the line. Okay.
Little discussion there between Burtnyk and the rest of the team as to where they would like this corner guard. And what they're talking about is when you lay your corner guard, you want to put it in a spot where it's easy to draw around and difficult for the other team to chase it. So you got to get that guard into the right spot. They would like this halfway between the hog and the rings.
You heard Kerry Burtnyk say that they're going to play, I guess, a center guard game because he feels it just won't come around on a corner guard.
And I was wondering how Middaugh would skip this end. He told me before the game that whenever he's 2 up or more, he likes to bring his first stone into the rings and then bring the second one in as well. You know, but let's see if he guards or if he comes right into the rings. If he comes into the rings, that means he wants to play the leave the possibility for a defensive end if he wants it.
Great throw, Scott. Whoa.
Well, there's a nice little guard.
Come down and bump it up.
Keith Fenton would just like to move these around. Tap back the yellow, get a couple yellows further back in the ring so they can be used as a backstop for his red stone. If Middaugh decides to try and take it out.
Ready to take off now.
Now they want to tap it at least to the tee line.
Good rock. Shot.
Wayne Middaugh views this corner guard right now as the potential problem rock, feeling that Burtnyk would like to bury some stones in behind that one. So here he is asking Ian Tetley to peel off that corner guard.
Just clean, just clean.
Well, even after we heard Kerry Burtnyk say that there's really not much you can swing around a corner guard, he wanted to go with center guards. Middaugh thinks the contrary and was willing to just peel that off.
Middaugh has a strategy here where he wants to take the game into the rings, where he feels his team is the best in the world in making doubles and triples. So get all the rocks of Burtnyk's into the rings, and then they'll throw hard at them.
Rob Meakin, stone.
Yeah. On hard.
Kerry asking for an out-turn guard.
Right down. Right down. Come on.
It's not the same. No.
Ian Tetley, another peel, out-turn this time. And this guy loves to hit peel guards.
Clean.
Just keeling on that all the way. Lots of weight out of Ian Tetley, and the hit and roll right off to the boards.
Takes that out without much problem at all.
It's not easy getting down 3-0 on the Middaugh team with guys like Ian Tetley around, because he can throw a lot of peels and a lot of doubles, and boy, he sure made some of those in this event. Rob Meakin out-turn again. This one has more weight. Looks like they're coming in to play the freeze, but it still has to curl. And real nice weight, but just not the right line. Didn't curl enough for him.
Wait.
Perfect weight. And you could hear Meakin say when it came out, let it curl.
Firm normal. Firm. Yeah.
The inside roll here for Graham McCarroll would be nice, but he's throwing lots of weight. This may stay there for a while. Starting to curl. A bit of a miss call there by Wayne Middaugh. You don't see that too often. Thought the roll was there and jumped up to sweep it, but bing, it was right on the nose.
3 yellow stones counting right now for the Middaugh team. They're ahead 3-0 after a steal of 2 in the first and 1 in the second.
Okay, push that back here.
Kerry Burtnyk has to be very careful in this end, is how he plays. Sure, he's down 3-0, but there's a lot of game left yet, and with the 3-rock rule, you can count with the hammer or without the hammer. So if he can't get a deuce here, he's got to start thinking about how does he make sure he gets one, gets onto that scoreboard, gets rid of the hammer.
Whoa! 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 Whoa!
Playing a little chap and lie. They just want to chip off the yellow and go in behind. And this is looking good.
Oh, very nice. And the red stone now shot rock.
I thought he'd roll a little more. It's quite open.
Feel?
Yeah.
Graham McCarroll now will come in.
Yeah, big peel weight here out of Graham. They don't want to stay on this. Just hit and roll away.
There's the hit and rolls away and out of play.
And Ian takes the roll right out of the ring.
Throws, buddy.
That really moved,
Yeah.
The way this keeps shaping up here, Ed, it looks like Wayne Middaugh is only going to leave one option for Kerry Burtnyk at the end of this end, and that's another draw.
Yeah, he's making it very tough. He's got a rock buried there right now, half buried to the top of the 4-foot. Nothing easy for Burtnyk on this end.
Whoa, room. Whoa. Whoa, guys. Whoa.
Jeff Ryan with the in-turn freeze. Can't get shot stone, but can freeze one in for second shot. And they're waiting for it to move. Just doesn't curl enough. Beautiful, perfect weight. Would have made it very difficult for Wayne Middaugh to get out if he would had curled just a hair more.
That's the second time there they've gone expecting for a little more curl on that side and not getting it, even though they had the weight.
Edge of the rock with peel. Okay. Not full peel, just up normal. Like it'll be 5 peel.
This time Wayne Middaugh might just change what he wants to do. Last time they hit and rolled away.
The nose is awful.
This time he certainly might look for the little hit and roll in. This is a little better situation for him than the last time when Graham McCarroll threw.
Third end of action, first home by Wayne Middaugh, and he likes throwing it heavy, and he's done that.
Well, this one's hanging out too. Now they can roll away if they can. Might just well take it away.
Rolls, but sticks around. This side of the sheet is causing them a problem. They expect a little more.
Just comes right to that spot. Yeah.
As they say in that one spot, Ed, it's just staying. It's not making any moves.
Kerry Burtnyk choosing to draw on the out turn, and that's a good call. He can get right in here for shot stone. His other alternative would be a hack weight to get rid of the yellow one that is buried right there. Hack weight, move it right out, and just roll his shooter softly in front of these other two. Right in front of those two would offer him some protection.
Yeah, there's a great telling statistic there. Steal of 6 points and an 8-5 win over Jeff Stoughton in the semifinal.
Well, on his rock last end, the sweepers misjudged it a little bit, and it skated a lot further than he thought, and went right to the 8-foot when they gave up the steal. Gonna need a little better judging this time.
Hurry, line. Come on. Hurry. Whoa.
Looks like room now. He's by the guard now. How's his weight? And will it curl in?
Sure, it looks heavy.
Yeah, second shot, back 8 foot.
What's that? That's a tech. Use that as a catcher. Yeah. That might be all he has. What do you do? He's got that. Oh yeah. You're here. Even if it's here. Like he makes a double, he just counts it back. Even actually, he makes a double because it jams. This one could very easily still be shot. So even if I'm here. Oh yeah. Well. No. He's playing the double, trying to get it into here.
Oh, it ain't go right here.
Well,
just gonna take one.
That's what we're shooting for?
Yeah.
Is that what we're shooting for?
If it's heavy, we come right here.
Okay. Is that good?
Yeah. It's fine.
Let's see. Or do you guard it and let him throw the straight back?
Wayne Middaugh feels the only way Burtnyk can get two is on the double over here.
What, this?
But doesn't think he has to guard that. Would rather come in on the out turn, right in there for second shot.
No.
Take away both the in turn and the out turn from Kerry Burtnyk.
What is it? He doesn't look like he's... Yeah, it's right up to yesterday.
Nice soft release. Just keeping it clean, just judging.
Line's good. Line's good. Line's good. For weight.
Boy, they're going to have to carry this one. The weight's coming off it.
Line's great. Hard.
Can they get it there?
Real hard. Come on. Come on.
Ian and Scott working real hard on it. Graham out to help, and it's just a hair light.
Just a hair. The line's pretty good.
Good
Just
sweeping, though, by the front end.
No, I think it's pretty close. Line's perfect. I'm pretty sure. Same as yesterday. 380.
Well, that's there.
Yeah.
Gotta have less than a quarter to do that, eh?
Yeah, you got it.
It's either that or just enough to move it to the 12 foot.
Well, Rob, they've had a little trouble in the last couple of shots they've played on this intern, but what Kerry Burtnyk here is wants just lightweight. He's got to be very careful in this shot. Move the shot yellow right to the back ring and roll his shooter there and try and save and count 2 points. Ice here is very weight sensitive, so he just has to have the back ring weight, get a bit of a move, and then see if the sweepers can hold a line for him.
Last rock of the third end, delivered by Kerry Burtnyk.
Yeah. Hit. Great.
Yeldy was a little tight, and this does look tight all the way. Sweepers are going on it real hard. Can they hold it?
Well, there's that red guard up front, and he's going to wreck on that. And it's going to be a steal of 1 again for Wayne Middaugh. He just continues to build up a lead without the hammer. It hasn't been any use right now. It is now 4-0 Middaugh in London, Ontario.
Our advice to those thinking of offering advice to a Bonneville driver: don't. Pontiac Bonneville, built for drivers.
Something happens when we feel secure. Our confidence grows, we're more open to change, and we look at things with a greater sense of optimism. We're the new Canada Savings Bonds. With the bonds you've trusted for years, and new ones on their way, like this year's Canada Premium Bonds. There's also now more choices, more options, but all are still perfect for the secure part of your investments. Because we know there's a lot to be said for knowing where you stand.
Dinner shouldn't take longer to buy than it does to prepare. Everything it takes to make a meal like this, you can get in minutes. Small, fast, friendly, and helpful. M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of quality meal ideas. One aisle.
This is our arena, admission is free. This is our ice time, no referee. Oh, maybe not professional. We chase and box me down a hill. So watch out when our home team gets too near. This is our beer. This is our beer.
The GMC World Curling Tour says thank you to the local sponsors who make each and every event work. For example, World Pitch and Putt Corporation here in London, and the paper of note, the London Free Press, and Sport Fund. In combination with M&M Meat Shops, they put on quite a show here at Highland Country Club. And right now there is a big sign, Hammer for Sale, by Kerry Burtnyk. He's got it now with a fourth end and is down 4-0.
Like we saw in last night's game, the hammer didn't mean much. Everybody was stealing, steal, steal, steal. And today, Wayne Middaugh is the thief so far. Kerry Burtnyk had a chance for 2 there, but didn't come up with the goods on his last shot. That spot, I think he was a little afraid of that intern, and it run straight a few times, so he let his release go a little bit inside and racked on the guard.
I think what he might have to do is just slide that indicator for the hammer on the scoreboard down 1.
Got to get rid of that
confuse
hammer.
everybody. Like Guy Hemmings at the Brier last year when he tried to change the numbers in that little power failure.
Well, Kerry Burtnyk needs offense here. He's got to get some rocks into the rings, count them, and put them up on the board. He's got to hit the chalk. Kerry told us last in that he wasn't too fussy about the corner guards, about drawing. So here, even with the hammer, he's playing a center guard, feeling that, well, yeah, Wayne may go behind it, and you know that's his hope right now to get some points is come around center guards. Anything he can bury and tuck behind.
Well, let's take a look at the leads and their work after the first 3 ends. Keith Benton is at 88%. for Kerry Burtnyk's rink.
And Keith obviously throwing mostly draws right now. He's just been laying the guards out there. He's only had, I think, a hit and in rolled out on that. And
Scott Bailey has yet to be asked for a hit. He's 88%.
Yeah, and when you play this Wayne Middaugh team, you play all four guys. They got strength at the lead, the second, the third position. So Wayne's got a great team in front of him. And man, they are fun to skip because they can play any shot. And I think they're and they showed even in this spiel that they're a little bit like the old Russian hockey team way back when any guy could play any position. And, you know, so Graham McCarroll wasn't here for a couple games. Well, they just moved the guys around, but they took care of it. They took care of business.
And it was interesting to talk to Wayne, too, about the reasoning for that. He says, well, you know, Scott and I kind of think the same way, so made it easier when we discussed shots. That's why I moved him down and let Ian throw the first stones.
Yeah, so Ian threw the first three. Scott threw the next three, and there was only two left, so Wayne threw those.
It's an easy game. Everybody just plays it hard.
Well, we were kidding a little bit with Wayne Middaugh that, you know, he may be setting kind of a trend here in curling, that if he wins everything with only 3 players at a bonspiel, as he was doing last night, that it may become the thing to do, and so everybody will start playing with only 3. That way you only have to split the money 3 ways instead of 4. But he also said that, you know, he just really missed having Graham McCarroll. He's an all-star third, and I think he's the guy who has really clicked in and taken this team to the top. And you know, he was a great third in Ontario for years, but he's finally really come into his own.
Terrific sounding board, too, for Middaugh. I mean, could be the voice of reason when Wayne wants to go wild.
I curled with Graham once. He played third for me in Yellowknife one time, and we almost won the event, but we got trapped by Al Hackner, who stole one on the extra end to beat us.
You're not alone. A lot of people have been trapped by Al Hackner. Wayne Middaugh was a winner at the M&M Meat Shop Charity Classic here in London in 1995. Trying to pick it up again in 1998. Mike Harrison, the defending champion. He struggled, as did Ed Wernick earlier this week.
Yeah, we saw some good teams like Mike Harrison and Ed Wernick not qualifying into the final 8. But you know, when you get 16 teams like this, they're all tough. Wayne Middaugh lying 2 in the 4-foot. Burtnyk third shot in front. Straight heel here to get rid of the guard. Views that as the problem rock right now. Hit and peel right off to the boards.
And the numbers of the seconds. Rob Meakin, 79%. Ian Tetley, 96.
Oh, well, Rob Meakin's been very steady this year, but look at those numbers for Ian Tetley. 100% on draws and 95% on hits. Wow,
you know why that is. He just threw so many rocks yesterday.
He's all practiced up.
He's all practiced out.
Burtnyk still playing a center guard, guarding that third shot of his. It's only third shot stone right now, but he still wants to cover it up. Long way to go here yet, so Kerry has to stay in the game, make sure he gets a count here, a 1 or a 2, then put the pressure back on Wayne Middaugh.
Right.
Decision time here. Does Wayne go after the guard again or play that one out in the rings and just, no, let's take that guard off one more time? Asking Graham McCarroll for peel weight, and yeah, there'll be a little weight on this one. Ah, beautiful front delivery there of Graham McCarroll. Comes right at it.
Little laser beam action. Peels it away. And looking at the numbers in the thirds, and look who's high again. Graham McCarroll, 96%. Jeff Ryan at 71.
Yeah, Graham McCarroll just shooting the 90% in the Brier in the Worlds last year. Jeff Ryan struggling on draws, and you know, also the amount struggling the Burtnyk team there on the amount that the draws would curl too when they played freezes. So they've had a little bit of a tough time with the ice. Lots of weight on this shot by Jeff Ryan. Coming in this time.
Wow. Wow.
They just want to bounce these around and get the yellow ones a little deeper.
I don't think they're going to get the bounce. Oh, just a kiss.
Good rock.
Well, better than they
Well, he kept them all in play. That's very important. He wanted to keep his red one around.
Mills, that's pretty good. Like normal.
Okay.
Less weight this time from Graham McCarroll. Just throw control weight. Hit this one on the nose.
Hey, clean, clean, clean.
Whoa, whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Scott Bailey
Yep.
sweeping on the other side now
right
that he's
there.
with,
Right there.
with the end. Very versatile sweeper, can sweep on either side.
Off nose. Okay. Play here. Okay.
Call now for Jeff Ryan.
Not quite the angle there for the triple, but the double is there. At least if he can take two and save his shooter.
Yeah.
That gives Kerry Burtnyk a chance for a count on his last shot.
Hurry, hard.
Ooh, only gets one.
Okay, but not bad. Saves his shooter, and Wayne Middaugh have to go after it.
Yeah. They can roll to it. That's it. Try to hit roll. Yeah. I think it's just normal. It's a run out here for a while.
You don't like your turn here?
That's a real touchy spot.
How is it?
Yeah. It runs. That's where the run is. I like this better.
So you throw a peel, your out turn here?
I think I just roll right across the top of everything then.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah. Hair less. Right at the edge.
Wayne Middaugh talking here about certainly moving the red one, but wants to play a dual purpose shot here, wants to roll his shooter in as well. But he's just got to watch how he leaves that in front of his two yellows.
Just hit roll right across the sheet. Just watch the roll.
Playing lightweight because he's looking for the inside roll. He wants some curl. And there it comes.
Whoa. A little bit. Whoa. Whoa. Right there.
It's a hit and a tiny roll.
Yeah, no triple, but there is a double.
That's not bad. As long as I can make a nose hit my last one, that's good. That's not bad if I can make a nose hit my last one.
Okay. Is that regular?
Yeah.
Kerry Burtnyk playing a takeout on these two. Wants to hit right on the beak, make the double, and sit right there in front of the yellow.
Using the ugliest throwing broom on the planet.
Problem here is if he hits that right on the beak and stays, he may guard the other yellow one at the back. So he has to decide whether he wants it right on the beak or a little bit of a roll to expose the yellow for his last shot.
Oh, wow. Whoa.
Wow. Lots of weight, and they're waiting for a move, and he's a long way out there.
Got to come. It's one only.
And rolls for a fourth shot, leaving Middaugh still with two.
How have the skips been playing? Kerry Burtnyk's only 50% on both draws and hits, and Wayne Middaugh at 96%.
Oh, wow. You know, like, look at this. 50% on draws and takeouts for Burtnyk. That's his lowest game of the year anywhere so far, and he's struggled. He's had tough shots, but he's also struggled so far. And Wayne Middaugh, you know, throwing the big numbers.
Youch.
Yeah. Pretty tough triple.
We had the stats man check those numbers twice. 50% for Kerry Burtnyk. You don't see that a lot.
No, let's just do it. Roll in a hair is probably the best.
And without the hammer, Wayne Middaugh leads 4-0 here in the fourth.
Wayne Middaugh playing the straight takeout on this third shot, the redstone. He'll be third shot if he hits it right on or if he rolls in a little.
Whoa! Clean. Clean.
This should curl a bit. Oh, it picked something up. It picked on them, and he rolls right out. There, he's disgusted over that.
Right on the nose. We got it.
It was running the way he wanted it to and got something and started to go the wrong way.
Right? Dead on the nose. Should have been trimming it.
Looking good, you know, this should curl a little bit and finish here, but right at halfway, this rock picks and then goes sideways. There you see the handle change on it. All of a sudden it curls 6 inches more than it should. The sweepers then try to hold it, but it's coming a little bit more than that. And he rolls right out, tosses it over to Burtnyk. Now a chance for a double to get two and get on the board. A big shot here for Kerry Burtnyk. Finally an opening, a break for him. Can he make it?
Coming out looking for the double. Kerry Burtnyk here in the fourth end.
Not touching it so far.
Curl.
Tough break. Had to curl a little more. Middaugh steals one more.
Boy, it just continues. He cannot seem to get anything with the hammer. He might have to just give it back as a gift because he certainly doesn't like the return so far. It is 5-0 Middaugh after 4. The GMC World Curling Tour in London.
You can try to ask questions in a supermarket, or you can always get answers at M&M meat shops. Hundreds of quality meal ideas, one aisle.
My roots? Well, I'd have to say my friends, my sports, and being here, which is all about spiritual opportunity. My lifestyle is important to me. Living in Whistler has given me the space to train, to think, whatever. That's what it's all about. These are my roots.
You can try to ask questions in a supermarket, or you can always get answers at M&M meat shops. Hundreds of quality meal ideas, one aisle. How far would you walk for someone you love? How far would you go to help end muscular dystrophy, breast cancer, and Alzheimer's? John Davidson is walking across Canada to raise money for research that promises a brighter future for thousands of Canadian families affected by genetic diseases. This is John's tribute to his son Jesse. It's Jesse's journey, and it's our journey too. Please give generously at any branch of the Royal Bank. You can try to ask questions in a supermarket, or you can always get answers at M&M meat shops. Hundreds of quality meal ideas, one aisle.
Talk of herbal medicine is beginning to grow. And as it grows, so does the confusion surrounding it, which means it's easy to lose sight of the fact that herbals are medicines that can affect your health, and they should be treated with respect. See the facts more clearly. Ask your Health Watch pharmacist about the benefits of herbal medicine.
The GMC World Curling Tour has stopped in London, Ontario, at the M&M Meat Shops Charity Classic, and right now, a little thievery here. 4 ends in, and here it is, the last rock of the 4th end for Kerry Burtnyk, looking for the double to count 2.
Just doesn't move. It's got to curl another inch at the end. He's got the rock rolling, but had to roll it another 2 feet. Oh, and he's disgusted with this. He didn't get what he wanted. It's been close a lot of times, and tonight it's just not working so far for him.
2 great skips in Burtnyk and Middaugh, 2 world champions. Middaugh, the reigning world champion. It's amazing to listen to curling skips too between ends. They just chat about everything. One changeover, they talked about the Curling Tour Championship trophy.
You never know. Sometimes they might be talking about lots down there, sometimes nothing. It's really hard to guess. But, you know, yeah, curling is a fantastic sociable sport. Although you're out there playing, trying to beat the heck out of each other, you know, you always have respect for the other players and have a lot of fun with them. I know as I travel across the country to the different events, it's always great to see the guys that I've played against before. That's a lot of fun, and the fans as well. Always to see fans you've seen in other years.
They're much happier to have you in the booth too, I think.
Well, you know, I don't know about that. You know, they might be able to get those W's pretty easy these days. That one smudges right at center. Seems to pick and smudge right on the halfway down the sheet. And
brakes went on.
Yeah, just threw the anchor out at the halfway point.
Peel it.
And either that's really things are going bad for Burtnyk, or that's a real trap shot, one or the other.
Right through.
Yeah, they're just keeping it clean,
and they were cleaning.
Yeah, I think this just picks up a bit of grit there and just stops cold. Straight through for Scott Bailey. They don't need this one. They don't want to have a clutter in the rings that Burtnyk can freeze to. And this one is a little bit of an easy end coming up here now for Wayne Middaugh. You're going to see the big weight and the peels coming on here. And so a bad break for Kerry Burtnyk there, not being able to establish a guard of some kind on the first stone.
this one is moving much further than the last stone. And the guard is set.
Yeah, I don't particularly like the way that this game is going so far. You know, not the fact that Middaugh's up 5. I mean, he's 100% credit, full marks for what he's done, but he's also getting the breaks in this game. You know, Burtnyk's handing him a lot of the breaks and stuff like that. So, you know, when you play good, you really like to just earn it all the way, but I think Wayne feels a little bit bad now that he's getting too many breaks in this game.
Well, the money here at the M&M Meat Shops Charity Classic is $46,000. $14,000 to the winning team, $8,000 to the second place team. And the semifinalists get $6,000. And the quarterfinalists, those making it into the final 8, $3,000 each. And over $8,000 has been raised and will be raised for Crohn's and colitis. Great opportunity to make another donation for more research.
Rob Meekin playing a guard. Pardon me, playing a freeze, but now the wide and heavy might go behind it.
It's not going to be where he wants it to be. Sliding by, going deep in the house, and does it even stay in?
Wayne Middaugh takes it right through.
Go through again.
He's calling for another rock thrown through the house. Not a play. This one for me and Tetley.
Well, this Middaugh team is really playing in a zone lately. They just got it on automatic pilot. You know, they're playing like machines, and not their fault that the other team hasn't come through tonight. You know, they put their end of the game up there. You know, and Burtnyk just hasn't been equal to the task so far.
We sat and spoke to Wayne Middaugh, and we've asked him this over the last couple of weeks, too, when he's caught up with Sportsnet on the GMC World Curling Tour. He says they're still enjoying being the world champions and enjoying a terrific year, and it's all sort of started from the where they left off at the end of the '98 campaign.
Yeah, they're really flying high, you know, being the Brian World Champions. But I've seen other Brian World Champions before who didn't have it quite as easy as Middaugh had this year. Like, they're just playing incredible, and you know, they're full marks for what they're doing this year, because these guys, I watched them yesterday, they made, even with 3 players, they made doubles and triples and freezes. They just played an absolutely stupendous game, and when you got a team playing like that, it's so much fun to skip that team. And Wayne Middaugh there, he can call any shot, any turn, any weight. He's getting the shots out of his boys. Very strong team in front of him.
Clean it.
And just peeling away the guard is Ian Tetley. Boy, this has been quite a month. I mean, October is a scary month, and this is scary. 26-1. They won the SGI Charity Classic, defeating Doug Harcourt. They won the Regal Capital Classic with Sault Ste. Marie, defeating Russ Howard.
What's that?
They also won one in Weston, and they've got 26,250. And with all the other events on the GMC World Curling Tour and the other possibilities, these guys could be cashing some big money in '98-99.
Good line. Look. Room.
And they really set a standard for themselves too, saying if we curl like this consistently, there's no reason we can't be the team everybody can be afraid of when we go to the playdowns.
One thing it's going to do, it's going to make all the teams on the tour that much better. You know, when you are Wayne Middaugh and you set a standard of play like this, everybody who plays him and wants to be in the game has to lift their game to that new standard. And so the bar has been raised, you know, and Middaugh has raised that bar, so he's saying, can you play with me at this stage, you know? And so teams are going to have to come in big against him. Burtnyk trying to bury behind that stone in the 4-foot. Got a piece buried, but McCarroll throws a heater and clips it out.
And just knocks that out of play. And still Middaugh lying on the button. Well, if Middaugh right now is the great one of curling, the great one of hockey is in action as the New York Rangers host the Buffalo Sabres. Our Tuesday night hockey right here on Sportsnet. Look at our team. Not bad, huh? We even got a goalie in Greg Millen. Simpson, Hewson, Kiprios, and Drager. They're all together on Sportsnet. 7:30 Eastern.
This is not doing anything near the same.
Now, it didn't move as much. It's going to be quite open. Graham McCarroll trying to sweep it right through. And it may go, and yes, it does.
It's out.
Yeah, now at this late in the end, I think you're going to see that Middaugh won't throw his stone away. Now he'll come in with the guard.
outside, yeah. Right there, yeah. Top 4, hair more, middle, almost middle.
Well, you know, Wayne Middaugh being such a strength in curling right now, and a young team, I think, is just a tremendously positive thing for curling, you know. If you're a young guy out there now, a teenager, and you've got a dream of playing on this tour someday, well, what a team to emulate the Wayne Middaugh team.
No?
Mine's good.
Wayne Middaugh delivers.
Wow.
Here in the 5th end.
Lots of weight on this one. Doesn't want to go right to the button and set up a pocket for Burtnyk to freeze.
Well, behind it?
What's plan B
He'll
here?
take the option now.
What's plan B? Now it looks like he's going to sit right beside that stone. And luckily it stops for him just in time, but still leaves Burtnyk with a chance to tap it back and have a pocket, create a pocket for himself and protect his red stone from being removed.
As we take a look at those pair of yellows, you know, we've talked about the money on this tour. There's a lot available, and now the GMC World Curling Tour has a vehicle in television being on Sportsnet. Kerry Burtnyk talks about the TV deal.
Well, I think there's no question that curling has made some great strides this year, you know, with the new agreement being televised on the CTV Sportsnet and with bringing IMG involved. I think that's really very crucial steps for the game of curling, and I think it sets the groundwork to really let our game go to bigger and better places in the next few years, and I'm really excited about that, and you know, I think most of the players are too.
In an interview in the London Free Press today, Kevin Albrecht of IMG says there's no reason that down the road, with the success of the World Curling Tour, that perhaps these curlers could be full-time curlers and not having to do this as weekend warriors.
Well, that's great to hear. First of all, a little heavy here by Kerry Burtnyk. He wanted to come square onto that rock and tap the 2 yellows straight back, and hasn't done what he wanted there. But what a great ambassador for the game is Kerry Burtnyk. You know, he always talks great about the tour, and he's always been a great player on the tour. And to hear Kevin Albrecht from IMG say that, you know, yeah, wouldn't that be just great for young guys out there to be able to come on this tour someday and play it full time? And that's our desire, that's our hope.
And you're sure that there are players like John Morris, the world Canadian and Ontario junior champion, eyeing this tour going, there is a place for me to play where I can be financially successful.
Yeah, there's a guy, a young guy who can make all the shots. He can throw them hard, he can play the soft shots too, and really enjoyed watching him in the juniors.
He could be a little scary. In fact, he'll be in London, Ontario next week for a junior Bondsfield. John Morris and his foursome.
Hurry! Hurry!
Wayne wants to stay, maybe a little inside roll. Just remove the Burtnyk shot so that it cannot count. Rolls in, lies 3.
Well, taking a look, they're giving it a really good look at what this might turn out to be for Kerry Burtnyk. He still has the hammer. He'd like to give it away big time.
For sure, and the question here is, even if he hits that yellow one on the nose with hack weight, will he be shot stone over that other yellow? Or does he have to roll a hair?
You hear that? Be nice to count a point.
For sure. He's had this last rock now, the hammer, for 5 ends, and would like to get rid of the darn thing. Needs to count to do that.
The release, the last rock of the 5th end. Kerry Burtnyk desperately like to count something.
A lot of weight, and it's starting to curl for them.
Here's the move. Oh, is it going to move enough?
It's coming now. It's coming good. And I think that he's got it. Beautiful shot.
He's
nice
done
shot
it
by Kerry
finally.
Burtnyk.
The hammer goes. He's giving it away.
Happy.
1 point for Kerry Burtnyk. He gets rid of the hammer. It's 5-1. We're at the 5th inning break, and I don't think anybody's been happier to get rid of the hammer than this man, Kerry Burtnyk. At London GMC World Curling Tour.
The kids wanted to go out for some Mexican food. You decided to take them someplace really authentic. Finally, a minivan built for drivers. 180 horsepower V6, standard four-wheel ABS, traction control. The Pontiac Transport.
This is our arena, admission is free. This is our ice time, no referee. Maybe not professional, chasing box way down the hill. So watch out when our home team gets to me. This is our beer. This is our beer.
Dinner shouldn't take longer to buy than it does to prepare. Everything it takes to make a meal like this, you can get in minutes. Small, fast, friendly, and helpful. M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of quality meal ideas. One aisle.
Break it down.
What's it really like?
Yeah. Break it down.
CTV Sportsnet's coverage of the GMC World Curling Tour is brought to you by GMC, makers of the totally redesigned Sierra and proud sponsor of the GMC World Curling Tour. By Molson, what beer's all about. And by M&M Meat Shops, hundreds of meal ideas all in one aisle.
London, Ontario, the location for the M&M Meat Shops Charity Classic. Fifth end break, and finally, Kerry Burtnyk's been able to give away the hammer. It is 5-1 for Wayne Middaugh after 5 ends. And it's my pleasure to be joined by Mac Voisin of M&M Meat Shops. And Mac,
to be here.
Nice to have you here. Now, your involvement here, it seems that, first of all, you've jumped on with a pretty good squad and having Wayne Middaugh as your team.
Yes, we started sponsoring Wayne 4 years ago, and he's continued to move up to a point now where he's just red hot.
Yeah, you knew that 4 years ago? Do you have any stock tips for me then? Because you picked a winner.
Well, we just saw him curl, and he had put together a great team of world champions, and we thought together they just might go the distance, which, of course, they did this past year.
Yeah, this has been a great event, too, as we take a look at some of the past champions here. Mike Harris in 97, Dale Duguid in 96, Wayne was a winner in 95, John Bass. Your involvement here is not only as a sponsor, you're very involved with the fact that there are proceeds being raised for a charity that you're very fond of.
That's right. We expect to raise about $8,000 to $10,000 for the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of Canada, which is our corporate charity. Each year we raise about $600,000 to $700,000 for this charity, and we're thrilled to be a part of it.
Now, I know you also have a golf tournament that does very well in the summer, so this gives you your winter support for that charity as well.
That's right. This is what we like to think of as just the beginning of a long-term relationship with curling.
Well, Mac, you know that right now that Lukowicz is looking for a team, and maybe you and I could be his front end. He's looking for anybody right now.
Anybody?
Yeah, so we might just fit the bill.
I like your thinking.
Thanks for being here, and thanks for your sponsorship of the GMC World Curling Tour. It has been a good one in London, Ontario at the Highland Country Club. Right now, though, Wayne Middaugh, the M&M Meat Shops team, is leading 5-1. What a coincidence. We'll talk about that.
Got to do with the food.
This week's tip is on alignment, something that'll make both you and your skip a lot happier with the results. When lining up your shot, it's much easier to start from in behind the hack, drawing an imaginary line from the hack you are throwing from to the skip's broom at the far end. On that imaginary line, you want to make sure your foot, your knee, and the rock are all in line with that. The reasons for this is if you slide a little bit narrow, you're going to want to feed the rock back to the broom, and if you slide a little bit wide, you're going to want to hook the rock to the broom, making it much tougher for your skip to read the shot. So the keys to alignment are knee, foot, rock, all on the line, and then right towards your target. And here's one more tip for lining up the perfect party. M&M Meat Shops has hundreds of party food ideas, all in one aisle.
Dinner shouldn't take longer to buy than it does to prepare. Everything it takes to make a meal like this, you can get in minutes. Small, fast, friendly, and helpful. M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of quality meal ideas. One aisle.
The road traveled by the used vehicle buyer is getting smoother. With Optimum from General Motors, where surprises are avoided. Where you enjoy inspection, certification, and the protection of warranty coverage. General Motors' commitment to you doesn't end when you drive off. It begins. Relax. The road ahead is Optimum.
An infinite number of monkeys on an infinite number of typewriters will eventually define all that is Canada.
Gentlemen, down south, we have trouble following your puck. So what we want to do is introduce this blue streak on screen every time someone passes the puck. And when they shoot it, red streak. Blue pass, red shoot. You get it, boys?
My daughter is a ski instructor and has to drive 100 kilometers to work. One day it was so snowy she couldn't see but 2 feet in front of her face when this car spun out ahead of her. She kept control while the car behind her went into the ditch. It was only because the car had Blizzaks that I let her drive alone.
Now get Bridgestone Blizzak in 2 tread designs, Ice Gripper or Winter Biter. More options for total control this winter. Blizzak by Bridgestone, the winter tire that sticks to ice.
Time now for a look at the fifth end breakdown. And the numbers as the 5-1 lead stands for Wayne Middaugh. And yikes!
Oh, look at those numbers. Wayne Middaugh's team, 93, 90, 96, their percentages. Wow. But he would be the first guy to tell you that he's kind of caught Kerry Burtnyk on an off night. The Burtnyk numbers, not what they should be there for draw or for hit. And team percentage only 70%. 23 points behind the Wayne Middaugh team.
That 90 reminds me of my marks in high school. Yeah, right. Wayne Middaugh leading 5-1. Now Middaugh has the hammer. How will he handle having the hammer now in end number 6? It was not good news for Kerry Burtnyk. Let's see how Middaugh responds.
Well, Burtnyk is a very veteran team. They've been down many times before, and they're still half a game here. They've got to score some points, obviously, to get back in the game. And, you know, there's really a sense of urgency for them here now, though. You know, they can't afford to wait too long. They've got to go after every end now. They've got to try and steal 1 or 2 every end. That rock picked a little bit for them and smudged a little bit there. You heard Kerry, and they didn't get the center line. They got it to go over the center line, but at least it's over the hog line, so it's a usable guard for them.
Top 4, top 8.
Scott Bailey's delivery.
Top 8.
Well, they've asked for sit, they've asked for fudge, they've asked for everything on this stone.
Now lots of weight on this one out of Scott. Now Wayne says, well, I don't want it back there. Might just well try to take it right through, and couldn't quite get it there. Pretty well where he didn't want it, right in the back. The decent thing about the Burtnyk effort tonight is that it's been a team effort. It's been no one guy that's, you know, that's missed everything. They've all struggled a little bit through the entire game, and so, you know, and this is a team that is very much together.
4 foot.
So although Wayne Middaugh's team has curled lights out, Burtnyk's really had an off night so far, and you know there is certainly that sense of urgency to score some points as quickly as he can.
I don't mind throwing a hack.
And we spoke to Jeff Stoughton about this and Kerry Burtnyk after one of the semifinals. Is that curling's an interesting game because conditions change from end 1 to end 10.
Yeah, we saw that in the game the other night where it was around 14.5 seconds at the start of the game and then quickened to 16.5, and all of a sudden the players couldn't hold back with their draw weight. They were just going heavy on everything. And yeah, you really have to be sharp when the conditions are changing a little bit and aware of those conditions all the time.
Bump it back.
For Kerry Burtnyk, he just wants to keep the Wayne Middaugh stones in play, tap them back a little bit, try to use them as a protection for his own. Perhaps if Wayne Middaugh plays a hit on a red, he'll drive it back on one of those yellow ones and leave it there.
Yeah. That's the way. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. No. Wow. Wow.
Rob Meakin coming in here on the outturn, wants to come to the face of that and tap it straight back. Doesn't quite get it. Kind of sounds like Kerry Burtnyk's having a little trouble with the voice.
As that comes to rest, next week the GMC World Curling Tour goes to North Bay, Ontario, and the Granite Club for the Bell Express View Curling Classic. Sunday and Monday on Sportsnet, and take a look at the field. Mike Harris, Russ Howard, Peter Lindholm, the 97 world champion, Ulrich Schmidt, who was a winner on the European side of the GMC World Curling Tour, $40,000 prize money. Tremendous field again.
Strong sweeping by Scott and Graham. Just rubs the guard. They're not unhappy with that. You know, either the rock in the rings or the guard. Make sure they get something. Going wide and missing everything would be a complete miss, but this is part of something's better than all or nothing. And that North Bay event, I'm really looking forward to watching Peter Lindholm. I've played him before, and what a great team they are from Sweden, 1997 world champions. And boy, he had to make a great shot there, and Kevin Martin will testify to that in the semifinals in 97. Looking at 4 counters of Martin, he froze one in to steal the end. And he's a real player, and he likes to come to Canada to gain as much experience as he can, and Peter Lindholm is just a fabulous team.
Great chance for us as well to see some of the top teams from around the world taking part. Pat Ryan was a winner in Switzerland this weekend.
Yeah, playing at
13-5.
Yeah, played it in Bern at what used to be the old Cronenberg, and also then the Bund Trophy, and now the Renault, and took home the first prize there. It's good to see Pat playing well.
Pat's brother Jeff, a member of the Burtnyk team, he was quite happy to hear that Pat had won. He figures that maybe he can float him up for a loan, or take him out in the golf course. And you know, we've already seen Jeff nail a couple of long putts there.
Well, he wasted it. The boys wasted it on the golf course today. You know, third time on the course was not lucky so far. He made a lot of putts on the course today, but so far tonight just hasn't been able to get that perfect draw weight. Kerry Burtnyk's having a little trouble with his voice. Maybe he's coming down with something, but seems to be a little bit of laryngitis.
Stone comes over. 5-1 the score in the 6th end. Wayne Middaugh leading. Stealing in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th ends. Coming in to clean out the guard. And, oh, just misses taking the other red stone.
Very close to the double there, but it was double, or at least make sure and get the one. Jeff Ryan being asked to replace the guard on the outturn. Says, whoa, right away, a little more weight.
More. Whoa, guys. Whoa, guys.
Let's rope.
Good line. Yep. Yep. Guard. Oh.
Wow.
As that settles in for another guard
nice
for Kerry Burtnyk. And we mentioned Peter Lindholm coming to North Bay next week. The top 2 European money winners will be invited to the GMC Players Championship. 24 qualifiers. The top 20 money winners in North America are the one local qualifier and the one sponsors exemption. And those two European teams. Could be Ulrich Schmidt, could be Warwick Smith, maybe Peter Lindholm.
Well, the tour has gone worldwide, you know, not just the big events in Canada, but there's events in the U.S., there's events in Europe, big events in Europe. Switzerland is a real hotbed of curling there, and so is Sweden. Obviously, Scotland, the homeland of curling, also has some very good events. And yeah, Japan is already having some cash deals, and we'd like to have them part of the tour as well.
Still the same speed? Or?
Very quick end here. Kerry Burtnyk surrendering the hammer gleefully.
Well, the clock a little bit more of a problem for Kerry Burtnyk, because when he gets down, they got to play draw after draw after draw. That takes more time off the clock, whereas Middaugh can throw the high hard ones and they'll sizzle down the ice in just 7-8 seconds. Out-turn freeze.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Like to stay straight in front of it, so now they try to hold the line and bump it a little. Good shot.
And now Burtnyk with 2 in the house, but he is the shot. The second is the Wayne Middaugh Yellowstone.
You try and stay? Throw normal and stay, or? What's that? Well, then when he freezes, I can peel everything out. Because he's just from the exact same freeze he just threw. Right? Or did you try and throw peel? I can try and peel. Peel. Right on the E, I want to hit it, eh?
Yeah.
Edge of the rock, probably pretty close.
For a young skip, this Wayne Middaugh is
trying to stay.
Showing such tremendous maturity, you know, that his strategy is so good nowadays. He's become a very, very intelligent skip, and you really see that in the shots he plays and the way he's able to control his shooter after he strikes a stone. You know, as we saw during the game, he hit and stayed for guards, was able to control his shooter. Lots of weight from Wayne on this one. Trying for the double.
Gets one, gets the other, picks it clean.
Brilliant shot from Wayne Middaugh. How are you going to beat that? A lot of weight here, just keeping it clean. The line is so close all the way. Half the rock onto the red, chips it out and rolls out the other red. And wow, when you make a shot like that, what's the opposition going to do?
Maybe get a blank out of it. That's one more in.
This freeze for Kerry Burtnyk, a crucial shot right now in the game. He's down 5-1 and wants to either steal one here or hold Middaugh to a single point, so he has to freeze this on real exact. The weight looks good. Lots of weight now.
Now this is going to bump. It's not going to be the freeze. Bumps.
Okay.
Yeah, he wanted to freeze straight on that with the correct weight and right in line with it, so he would lock it on.
So if Wayne Middaugh peels this away, he can count 2 and take a commanding lead.
Yeah, anything pro side on the high side of the rock, he counts 2. Even if he hits it dead on, he probably springs it off his own and still gets 2. Just doesn't want to over curl on the end turn. As long as he hits on the broom side.
Out of the hand. Oh, he's coming with some smoke.
Sweeper's going hard on this one, and it's curling.
Peels
Chips
it
it out
away,
clean.
and we'll take 2 in the 6th. Wayne Middaugh continues to dazzle here in the GMC World Curling Tour. And right now in London, Ontario, the M&M Charity Classic, he leads 7-1 after 6.
You can try to ask questions in a supermarket, or you can always get answers at M&M meat shops. Hundreds of quality meal ideas, one aisle.
Time for a new phone? Check out Radio Shack for this month's special. We have popular brands like Panasonic, Sanyo, and Nortel because we're Canada's telephone store. Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
You can try to ask questions in a supermarket, or you can always get answers at M&M meat shops. Hundreds of quality meal ideas, one aisle.
Next to love, your dog's food is the most important thing you give him. So ProPlan wants you to take a good look at the first ingredient listed on the packages of these premium dog foods. For Science Diet Canine Maintenance, ground corn. For IAMS chunks for normally active dogs, chicken byproduct meal. And for ProPlan Maintenance formula, chicken. It's your dog, it's your choice.
You can try to ask questions in a supermarket, or you can always get answers at M&M meat shops. Hundreds of quality meal ideas, one aisle.
Break it down.
What's it really like?
Yeah. Break it down. GMC World Curling Tour, late October, and I'm not sure who's howling at the moon. Is it Middaugh because he's running away, or is it Burtnyk because he can't find a way to solve? Wayne Middaugh and company from the St. George Curling Club in Toronto. Into end number 7, a 6-point lead for Wayne Middaugh. We've been talking about this team. Their average age is 34, very young, but on average, each one of these team members has 22 years curling experience.
And I think you're really seeing that at every position, and I'm most impressed mentally with the skipping ability of Wayne Middaugh and how he works with the rest of the team. And of course, Graham McCarroll has a lot of experience to add in third. And like I said before, if you look at the early part of this game, Wayne Middaugh and his team made good shots, but the maturity was the way they made raises and those kind of shots and controlled where their shooter rolled to. So they made a raise and rolled their shooter for a perfect guard, you know, and were able to do that. And when you can do that, well, team's awfully tough to beat.
This is also, I think, a credit to the junior curling that these 4 men developed under, because they've all had 22 years experience. They've been through the junior ranks and all the way up, so it shows that the development system works, because here's a team like this. Or if you want to look at a comparable team now in the late 90s, John Morris's team coming up, shooting the lights out, very young, very aggressive, and certainly will be put to the test once they hit the big guns right here.
Yeah, well, one guy that recognized, 2 guys that really recognized Wayne Middaugh's ability a while ago was certainly Russ Howard, when he brought Wayne on as a second, and they quite soon won the Worlds in '93. And I remember Ed Wernick at that time, even because he played a lot against Middaugh, and Howard at that time said, this guy is just the best player he's ever seen. And, you know, if there was 4 Wayne Middaughs on a team, you'd never beat these guys. You know, that's how good he is.
Well, plus, just think of the bonus of learning under a Russ Howard. You can't ask for anything better than that.
Scott Bailey just trying to chip that one over to the boards. The free guard zone says that he can't remove it just yet. Just trying to chip it over the side and roll his shooter away. It doesn't quite make it. Although it's a miss, you know, it's not a big miss. And that type of shot is very difficult for a lead to be able to just chip it over the boards.
Keith Fenton, the lead for the Kerry Burtnyk team. Burtnyk defeating Jeff Stoughton in week 1 of the GMC World Curling Tour on CTV Sportsnet in Winnipeg. The Molson Winnipeg Classic. Last week in Sault Ste. Marie at the Regal Capital Curling Classic, it was Wayne Middaugh with a solid performance over Russ Howard, 8-5.
Well, I want to see Kerry get that deuce back or that 3-under back here, and he's going to have to keep his red stones in front of the rings from the start, draw behind them, tuck them in behind. See if he can get a miss or two finally out of the Middaugh team.
Well, here's a great story in Ian Tetley.
Oh, wow. You know, this guy is the only player in the history of curling to win 3 Briers and 3 Worlds in only 3 appearances. So he's gone to that dance, but never, ever lost. You know, in 1985 world champion playing with Al Hacker, then 1990 with Eddie Burtnyk, 1998 with Wayne Middaugh, the team you see there now. And so what a record this guy has. He loves to throw the peels, loves to throw the doubles, and doesn't miss many of these. And picks that one. Oh.
Well, that's why he's curling over 90%. He's at 95 right now.
And he's done that the whole spiel. He's been making those shots time and again.
So Tetley, 3 Briers, 3 Worlds, 3 appearances, 3 different teams.
Yeah,
3
and
different skips.
The game he had here against Rich Moffat, they trailed 3-1 early, but then, and playing with only 3, Scott and Ian and Wayne Middaugh, they came back and won that game. And in that game, they made a ton of doubles between Ian and Scott. And then Wayne went and finished the game off with a double on his last stone.
Not to be outdone. As the Burtnyk stone rests in the 12.
That's the only thing.
Both these teams together for a long time. This is the 5th year together for the Middaugh team. All these guys in these positions, and they finally got it right to the point where they won it. And for Burtnyk, he put his team together in 94-95, and they went on to win the Worlds in their first year together, and they're still together. One of the few teams from Manitoba to stay together this year and get stronger and stronger.
Well, we've been talking about the GMC World Curling Tour at the 1998 Hat Super 8 Charity Classic in Medicine Hat. Championship final, Frankie Morissette defeating Brian Costain 9-5. Winners of $10,000. First prize money. That's Frankie Morissette, Mickey Pendergast, Kevin Pendergast, and Eugene Doherty.
Well, what a good team to put together for Frank Morissette and Mickey Pendergast. They've both been at the provincials before with different teams, and now they're playing together for this year for the first time. And you know, obviously it's working well as they pick up the first check in Medicine Hat. Looking at Kerry Burtnyk back there at the scoreboard now, I think he's pretty disillusioned. You know, not much. The body language isn't very positive. You know, and he knows that this team can get basically anything he puts out there. And here he is trying. You know, I feel for him trying to bury behind the stone on the button to try and get something behind cover. You know, that's a very difficult shot to place.
And as you said, when he gets that opportunity, he can play quickly and peel things away. There, Graham McCarroll took care of business. Jeff Ryan out of the hack trying to get something going again.
We're just thinking back to, you know, when there was hitting, and you got down and the teams could peel everything away. Well, then they finally came up with the 3-rock rule in Canada, the 4-rock rule international to keep rocks in play. Now we might have to come up with the Middaugh rule, you know, something to keep these guys from making everything so that teams have a chance.
What do you mean, like blindfold one of them? Carroll again has to peel away the bothersome stone.
Yeah, he missed a number of games in this event. His dad was very sick in hospital, so we wish the family well. Nice of him to play in the final tonight under the circumstances. Said he had a rough day, Graham, you know, spent the last couple days at the hospital. And then this morning, his wife, who was pregnant, was in the car, and somebody rammed into the back of her car, you know, so he had to take her to the hospital, too. So he's had a weekend of the hospital.
Hard. Come on. Right up. Hard. Hard. Come on. Go hard. Hurry. Hard.
Just trying to squeeze by. A little rub, it comes out into the open, and totally accessible for Wayne Middaugh. I think he maybe could throw this one left-handed and give Kerry a chance here. There we see the yellow shot stone right on the M&M Meats logo, and the red one at the back of the 8-foot. Don't think he wants to hit and stay here. He'll hit and roll if he can. Oh, where did the sweepers go? They are not nowhere around.
They just stayed to chat. Nice sweeping, boys. Tough to keep up with.
I figure if I say roll on my out turn out of my hand, I missed.
Kerry Burtnyk here in end number 7.
Could be playing the freeze or trying to draw behind that yellow one. Getting a bit of a chuckle at what's happening him tonight, saying, what is going on here? Well, the third finally found out what they're doing. They're going in behind.
Yeah. Well, if you can. Yeah, right back. Hard. On hard. Right back.
Trying to pull it around. They're not going to get as deep as they had hoped.
Yeah, and that one is wide open as well. And on this one now, of course, Wayne Middaugh can afford to hit and stay now and just take away the blank end from Kerry Burtnyk. Yeah, you'd like to hit and stay, then there's no possibility of blanking the end unless Burtnyk wants to try to play the double and roll out as well.
And as he slid by Scott Bailey, Bailey went, you want me to sweep
Give me a
this
hair
one?
more crack.
Well, you know, the sweepers have to be in the rink anywhere, so it is somewhere in the rink, so they might just well be with the stone.
Hard.
Looks a little tight on this one. They're going hard right away, but there's a lot of weight. I'm pretty sure they can hold that.
Whoa, clean.
And they're getting hit and stick, and now Kerry Burtnyk has to make a decision.
Taking plenty of ice, just playing like back ring weight for the tap, hack weight.
Final stone of end number 7.
Yeah, can't afford to roll very far one way or the other. Has to be right on the nose to get shot stone.
Yeah. Yep. Hard, tight. Hard.
Threw it tight.
Real hard. Hurry. Hard, all the way.
Well, the sweepers are doing a good job of holding it so far. Going real hard on it.
Starting to dig in now.
Right up. Yeah.
And he will hit.
Yeah, that looks like red.
Looks like red.
Hooray. Hooray, one red and one
red for Kerry Burtnyk. He puts up a single. It's now 7-2 after 7 ends of play at the M&M Meat Shops Charity Classic in London, Ontario.
It has the most powerful Vortec engine ever made. 4-wheel disc anti-lock brakes standard. And the largest, most comfortable cab we've ever built. The totally redesigned Sierra by GMC. Now that's a truck, I'll say.
How far would you walk for someone you love? How far would you go to help end muscular dystrophy, breast cancer, and Alzheimer's? John Davidson is walking across Canada to raise money for research that promises a brighter future for thousands of Canadian families affected by genetic diseases. This is John's tribute to his son Jesse. It's Jesse's journey, and it's our journey too. Please give generously at any branch of the Royal Bank.
An infinite number of monkeys on an infinite number of typewriters will eventually define all that is Canada.
Gentlemen, down south, we have trouble following your puck. So what we want to do is introduce this blue streak on screen every time someone passes the puck. And when they shoot it, red streak. Blue pass, red shoot. You get it, boys?
The best looking sports news show on the planet comes your way after Curling in the West, 10:30 in all other regions. That's Kevin Quinn and Darren Millard. Nobody covers your team like our team on Sports Central. And we'd like to thank the local sponsors who make each and every stop on the GMC World Curling Tour work. Sport Fund, the London Free Press, and World Pitch and Putt Corporation Incorporated, as well as M&M Meat Shops. They make it all work here for the GMC World Curling Tour. And number 8, 7-2 the score. Kerry Burtnyk picking up a single, and when he had the hammer belongs to Wayne Middaugh.
This Burtnyk team, last 2 years, runner-up in the provincials in Manitoba. Last year, runner-up to Dale Duguid. Kerry's been in 16 tankards, which is basically the final group in Manitoba. 16 of those since 1980.
Is that, do you think, by your estimation, the toughest province to come out of?
Well, I think you've got the most solid teams, like the strongest base right in Manitoba. Like you can pick out about 30 to 40 very, very strong teams that could beat you on any given day. And I think, you know, that when curling left Scotland, you know, and that was the base, but it moved to Canada, Winnipeg became the base of Canadian curling, and of course it spread out a lot from there.
No, that's to take nothing away from any of the other provinces. Great curlers all around. You got Wayne Middaugh in Ontario. Russ Howard. There's an interesting situation now, too. Russ Howard, now no longer Russ Howard of Ontario, Russ Howard of New Brunswick. That curls in nicely behind the guard. Scott Bailey. So Russ Howard's team will probably be skipped by Glenn Howard. They'll be looking for a fourth. Russ Howard going to New Brunswick. He'll be running a new golf course just outside of Moncton called Royal Oaks. And I imagine he has got a fair number of curling resumes on his desk.
Yeah, and Russ Howard will be playing the entire World Curling Tour with his Ontario team, with brother Glenn. But then when it comes time to play down time, the rules say that he will play in New Brunswick. And so he'll be looking for a team there. And obviously he's already had some phone calls, as he's mentioned to us.
Some divided loyalties there. Well, after 7 ends of play,
it doesn't matter.
7-2 the score as we watch Scott Bailey with his final stone
Clean.
in end number 8.
Just clean. Just clean. Ball. Ball.
Peels off the guard.
Nice try.
As we look at the numbers for the leads in tonight's final, Keith Fenton 94%. Very solid on draws, and Scott Bailey's at 83, draws 84%, hits 75.
Yeah, well, that.
Take a look at this now. It shows you how tough it is for. Oh, good footwork there by Graham McCarroll.
Yeah, he didn't think that was going to chip the guard. He thought it was coming by the guard, but all of a sudden the stone was right at him. Those percentages there, like if you're looking at Keith Fenton, he was in the high 90s, you know, but all he's been doing in the game now since they got behind is throwing out those front guards, you know, so obviously he can build up a big draw percentage that way. And so sometimes those percentages are deceiving. I'm not taking anything away from him, but just saying, you know, when you're just playing the guards over and over again, you know, you can build up a big percentage, but does it really help your team when you're down? You know, it's just an attempt to get back in the game.
Right now, that's what the situation calls for. He has to get the guards up so they can start to do a little work in behind.
Yeah, Ian Tetley, the outturn Peel, and what a yell he gave. Like, he must have thrown that one quite a ways in. Uh-oh, and it's curled, and he's straight back on his own, and luckily he manages to chip it out and not leave the red in the ring. Haven't seen that for a while. Ian Tetley, you know, just a little bit of loss of concentration there. You know, things are rolling along so good, so all of a sudden you jump on the hack and fire and forget to aim.
T-liner just short.
Well, good-natured between both teams.
Let's row.
Nice weight. A lot of room behind that guard, past that guard, 6 inches. They would have liked to have come tighter than that. And now the problem is, do they set up a double?
Well, they've left a great opportunity for it. The glimmer of hope might end up a dying ember.
Yeah, it's a tough, very, very skinny double.
See the whole thing? Board.
Yeah, he's just playing the hit and stay, hit and roll in front of it.
Middaugh's team with the hammer in the 8th end. They lead by 5.
Yeah, this one not moving so far. He might be close to making that double, but I think he's just going to hit and roll. Roll a little too far. Right out.
Hit and roll, and he's able to move out, leaving just the one red stone. In the rings, the numbers on the seconds, 96% for Ian Tetley through 7 ends. Rob Meakin, 73%.
Boy, Ian Tetley, what an all-star at second tonight. You know, those kind of numbers are just awesome.
Jeff Ryan's rock very quickly out of his hand.
See if they can get a little tighter to the guard this time. They'd like to tuck this stone right in behind the yellow guard, but now it's moving hard for them. Playing it tight, real tight to the guard.
Enough curl around.
Now stop. We don't want a double back there, says Kerry Burtnyk.
Oh, perfect.
And buddy, they set up the double perfect off the center stone, and when it's not working, it's not working.
Kerry Burtnyk, oh, perfect.
Got lots of room this way? Huh? Yeah?
Yeah. Where am I heading?
Half?
Half.
Out-turn double, hit a quarter to half. No use sparing the horses, might just well throw it hard. And he was tight as well.
Graham McCarroll gets it by the guard. Gets one, bumps the other out of the way.
And spins away with a shooter, leaving the Burtnyk stone shot. Break for Burtnyk in the game. Good show.
And the Kamloops Curling Club has the crown of curling this weekend, part of the GMC World Curling Tour. Final is set. It's going to be Greg McCauley of Burnaby against the Randy Furby, David Nedouin team from Edmonton.
Randy Furby for playing for a number of years, third for Pat Ryan when they won the Worlds. They played in the Worlds in '88 and '89. In '88, they lost to Eigil Ransfeld from Norway, and in 1989, they won the Worlds. Hey, two good shots. All right.
Graham McCarroll coming out of the hack, and he's got one with a little bit of weight on. And he's being asked to just pick away at his own guard just to open up the front of the house. And the comparisons on the third. Jeff Ryan's at 70%. His draws just 64. Graham McCarroll 98% through 7 ends.
What can you say about those numbers for Graham McCarroll? I mean, how much closer do you get to a perfect game? And I think the only shot he missed is where he didn't make the double here down on the 8th end, you know, so that'll lower it a tiny bit. But Jeff Ryan on top there, struggling with his draws at 64%, hasn't come out with that normal sparkling game that he can play. He hasn't given us a stellar performance. Replacing that guard for Kerry Burtnyk. Doesn't want to come in too deep and allow Middaugh to play a straight back double.
Burtnyk has got the first and second shots, and there's the guard now. Wayne Middaugh does have hammer here in the 8th.
I can get one of them if you want. Huh? I can get one of them if you want. Probably the back one. I can't do that. I can just peel it. Okay. What do you like?
Yeah, you just peel the top.
What's that?
Peel the top.
You want to try and run it this way?
What?
Run the double?
What for?
Hitting against 3. Well, it doesn't matter if I peel it. I'm hitting against 4. I'm not going to dead jam it. I'm never going to dead jam it. I like running it this way. Yeah. Well, I'm going to leave the center, but the outside two will be open. So what?
Peel the top.
I'll peel it then. I'm hitting against 3. I might as well take a run at it.
Yeah, but you're leaving one buried.
Huh?
If you peel the back one, you're leaving one buried.
That's why I'm taking a run at this way, the top one. Trying to run the double and roll out.
What, like the middle of the rock with an out turn?
In turn. In turn right on where you want me to hit it.
You think?
Why not?
Why?
Well, what's the worst? I'm gonna peel it anyways.
What's he doing with his next one?
He's going open side if I just peel it.
Other side of the floor. And then you get an open hit.
Then I got an open hit. Either way, I got an open hit.
Yeah.
So I might as well take a run at here and make the open hit against 2 instead of open hit against 3.
If you jam it and spill it in behind, then that's a very
Open hit against 4. Open hit against 3, open hit against 4.
So you went the edge of the rock with a heater?
Might as well take a run at it. What do you guys think? Like, I don't see anything great here. There's no, like, peeling it doesn't turn me on, so I have an open hit against 3. I don't like that scenario either.
one thing if he throws a guard back and now you're drawing.
He's not throwing a guard. No way. Well, he might.
This is the longest conversation they've had over a shot since the first stand.
It's been the longest conversation they've probably had for weeks. You know, they don't take a lot of time to play. But I like what I hear here. You know, the real steadying influence on this team right now is Graham McCarroll. He doesn't let anybody go too crazy.
Right there, eh?
Doesn't let anybody go too crazy on this team. You know, play it smart.
And here comes the heater.
And he may drive this red one straight back onto his yellow, which was the danger, and just over the top of it, got away with it.
Well, that was the other option. If he didn't nail the red, he said, it doesn't matter.
You're never going to jam it on your own.
And just to show you the difference in the styles of game, because of the fact Middaugh, each team is allowed 75 minutes to play. Wayne Middaugh still has 28 minutes remaining. Kerry Burtnyk has 21 minutes remaining. But as you said, that's the difference between the draw game that Kerry's had to play, setting up guards, and the straight-out peel game that Wayne Middaugh's had to play.
Absolutely, Rob. You know, when you have to try and catch up and you're throwing draw after draw, that takes a lot of time off your clock.
Final skip rock for Kerry Burtnyk here in the 8th. Wayne Middaugh with the hammer.
A glimmer of hope here for Kerry Burtnyk. Draw to lie 3. Playing an in turn, wants to tap his rock just up a foot or two, get it a little closer to the 4-foot.
Where is it? Stay with it. Yeah, gotta go.
Now it's slowing down.
Go.
And starting to curl.
Go, take it in. Freeze it.
And they do manage to get it in for second shot. Now they lie 3. That's a good shot. He forces Middaugh to have to do something.
This is just the cold draw.
But if I roll the center line, it doesn't really matter anyways, right? Pardon? If I just hit and roll it there, it doesn't really matter anyways. Right?
Well, I should stuff it.
What's that? If he gets one, he gets one. As long as we make the top double. Basically, we're just trying to hit and roll to here. Probably rolling 8. You like that?
I don't mind that at all.
So if I nose it, should still get 2.
You should still spill the other one.
Right there.
Just throw a normal handle, eh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I will. He's probably getting 1 by the looks of it. He's probably getting 1.
Why would he do this as opposed to just take the draw?
Well, I think he wants to try and make the double or triple here, but what he has to watch out for is that in striking this stone that he doesn't drive it straight back onto the red at the back and leave a steal of 2. And a ton of weight on this one. A real howitzer coming down.
Well, there goes 2-3.
He gets them all. For a count of 1 for Wayne Middaugh. What a shot.
And they shake hands on it. Middaugh takes 1-8-2. They shake hands. Wayne Middaugh continues to roll. Win number 27 of the season. He is unstoppable, and he was not going to be beaten here at the M&M Meat Shops Charity Classic in London, Ontario. Take a look at this shot again.
Well, there's just a ton of weight on this one. It's coming down and looking good. Now they're just keeping it clean, and hits it 7/8, makes the triple. Too much weight to save his shooter, but he made the triple. What a fantastic shot.
I don't think saving the shooter was on his mind. He's got himself another paycheck, a victory for Wayne Middaugh over Kerry Burtnyk in London at the GMC World Curling Tour.
Our advice to those thinking of offering advice to a Bonneville driver: don't. Pontiac Bonneville, built for drivers.
Break it down.
What's it really like?
Break it down.
My daughter is a ski instructor and has to drive 100 kilometers to work. One day it was so snowy she couldn't see but 2 feet in front of her face when this car spun out ahead of her. She kept control while the car behind her went into the ditch. It was only because the car had Blizzaks that I let her drive alone.
Now get Bridgestone Blizzak in 2 tread designs: Ice Gripper or Winter Biter. More options for total control this winter. Blizzak by Bridgestone, the winter tire that sticks to ice.
Life, according to Drew Kerry.
I always get screwed by the system. That's my place in the universe. I'm the system's bitch.
Drew gets it from everyone all the time.
You bathe in a big pool of luck and it would do you no good.
Hey, thanks for the pep talk, Eraserhead.
And then Kirstie Alley stars in Veronica's Closet.
What do they call me the queen of?
In high school or now?
Romance, the queen of romance.
Drew Kerry and Veronica's Closet, Thursday on CTV.
Another victory handshake for Wayne Middaugh as he defeats Kerry Burtnyk 8-2, shaking hands after 8 ends, picking up another with a terrific triple to wrap it all up. And here he is again, ready for another championship interview. Would you going to start to decline the hammer early in that match? It didn't seem to matter.
No, we were very fortunate. Got a couple very uncharacteristic misses out of Kerry early, which just normally never happens. And we were lucky enough to capitalize on them and took advantage of them.
Tell me your game plan coming in against Kerry Burtnyk.
Well, we play the same game plan every time we go out on the ice. You know, we wait till the first rock stops and then we go around it, and then you know, we just try and put more points on the board than the other team. And you know, we were fortunate enough that we were on top again today.
Well, talk us through some of your shots, and let's go to the first end as we get to your shot where you're able to grab 2.
Well, our shot, we were just setting the end up at the beginning of the end, and I made a nice little a come-around tap back, but my shot wasn't that tough. It was all the setup shots before that made my shot a little easier. And it left Kerry with a really tough shot to score. And you know, maybe if he squeaked it by the guard, he might have been able to make the triple. It was really close where it was there, but you know, it was a tough shot, and Kerry just feathered a little on the high side and just missed it a little bit.
Now we're jumping to the 6th end, where you picked up more.
Well, this one was one of those where, you know, we're in good shape. There's no guards in play. I got a free run at it, and even if I miss here, it's not life and death, and I was very fortunate to make the double.
As we moved into end number 8, we all thought you were going to go with the double and let Kerry have one.
Well, you know, that's the thinking. You won't want to give them up any more than one, but if I make the shot perfect, we happen to get them all and score a point, and lo and behold, we got hit here in the right spot.
Well, look at Kerry, big grin on his face too, as he shakes hands as you take another one. This is an amazing streak you've got going right now. Your 27th victory. You're 27-1 right now.
Yeah, it's just been, you know, you just keep playing the games every time you come out in the ice. It's just a new game, and you know, like I say, we were fortunate to beat Kerry the last time we played him. He beat us for a whole bunch of money, so we're lucky to get back at him this game.
I want to ask you a question about having Graham McCarroll back in the lineup. You played with 3 yesterday in the semis, and Graham was here. He seems to be the voice of reason sometimes on this team.
He definitely is the voice of reason. You know, that's You know, we get some different things. He come down there in the last end there trying to get me to play something a little different, but he's definitely the guy who keeps us, all three of us, calm and who keeps us focused and keeps us going rather than, you know, on the 6th end where I could have played for 3, he just says, you know, 2's enough, just make sure of the 2 and let's go to the next end.
Well, stay with us. We're going to something you're pretty familiar with. That's check presentation. When we return, Wayne Middaugh's foursome, a winner over Kerry Burtnyk 8-2 at the Highland in London.
The kids wanted to go out for some Mexican food. You decided to take them someplace really authentic. Finally, a minivan built for drivers. 180 horsepower V6, standard 4-wheel ABS, traction control. The Pontiac Transport.
Break it down.
What's it really like?
Yeah. Break it down.
An infinite number of monkeys on an infinite number of typewriters will eventually define all that is Canada.
Gentlemen, down south, we have trouble following your puck. So what we want to do is introduce this blue streak on screen every time someone passes the puck. And when they shoot it, red streak. Blue pass, red shoot. You get it, boys?
Dinner shouldn't take longer to buy than it does to prepare. Everything it takes to make a meal like this, you can get in minutes. Small, fast, friendly, and helpful. M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of quality meal ideas. One aisle.
City of London has been a great host for the M&M Meat Shops Charity Classic, won by Wayne Middaugh 8-2 in the championship final over Kerry Burtnyk of Winnipeg. And something that we're getting very familiar with here on Sportsnet, and that's check presentations to the Middaugh Force. And with me is Mac Voisin of M&M Meat Shops and Brian Davey, the man who organized this event here at the Highland. And Mac, I don't know, you're giving away your own money to a team you sponsor. Is this just a bookkeeping error or what?
It's a pleasure to do it. This is a real double win for M&M Meat Shops, of course, because we not only sponsor the cash field, but we sponsor Wayne and his team.
Well, go ahead, do it.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank Brian Davey and the organizing committee for just an absolutely outstanding job again this year. Brian, congratulations. And good job. And we've got this money that I'm just delighted to turn over to Wayne. And, of course, Wayne is going to probably tell everyone it's a strict diet of M&M Meat Shop products that's brought you to where you are today, right?
That's great. Thanks, Zach.
Congratulations.
Thanks very much.
Wayne, Graham, Ian, got it. Way to go.
And I'm just going to slide by here to Brian, and already there's a Middaugh name on here, and you get the opportunity to make another presentation.
Wayne, on behalf of our committee in Highland Country Club, you're very worthy of this trophy. You've thrilled the crowd all week with all your team has with unbelievable shots, and you really, really deserved it.
Thanks. Thanks very much. Thanks, Brian.
Well, Team Middaugh takes a very nice check and a very nice trophy out of London, Ontario. We'll come back to wrap it all up. There's the victor's spoils here at the M&M Meat Shops Charity Classic.
It has the most powerful Vortec engine ever made. 4-wheel disc anti-lock brakes standard. And the largest, most comfortable cab we've ever built.
Finish up the plastic tonight. We're doing seismic checks. We're taking core samples at
The totally redesigned Sierra by GMC. Now that's a truck, I'll say.
Wish you had a cell phone? Get this Motorola free at Radio Shack on any Cantel AT&T 12-month plan. Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
My father taught me something I know I'll never forget. You can dream about success, or wake up each day and work hard at it.
There's a lot to be said for knowing where you stand. The new Canada Savings Bonds, with more choices, more options, and the security that keeps you on solid ground.
Wayne Middaugh has picked up another title, winning the M&M Meat Shops Charity Classic in London, Ontario, at the Highland 8-2 winner over Kerry Burtnyk of Manitoba. And Ed Lukowich, this is a game of advantage, and a team like Wayne Middaugh saw one and jumped right on it.
Well, they sure took advantage of the opportunities, Rob. And, you know, the percentages. Oh, Graham McCarroll, 95% at third. Wayne Middaugh, 93% of skip. And it's not just the percentages, it's the quality of the shots they made, you know, making raises and able to keep their shooter in front and block the next shot for Kerry Burtnyk. They just played an awesome game.
He doesn't seem to be in that position where he shows any chinks in his armor. He just continues to roll.
Well, they bring the whole package to the game. They can throw the heavyweight, but also they can play all the draws and freezes and little taps. And I think right now this is the best curling team that I have ever seen.
Well, there it is from not a bad curler himself. 8-2 the final score. We'll wrap it all up. Team Middaugh looking for that trophy at the end of the season. The GMC World Curling Tour continues.
The road traveled by the used vehicle buyer is getting smoother. With Optimum from General Motors, where surprises are avoided. Where you enjoy inspection, certification, and the protection of warranty coverage. General Motors' commitment to you doesn't end when you drive off. It begins. Relax. The road ahead is Optimum.
Dinner shouldn't take longer to buy than it does to prepare. Everything it takes to make a meal like this, you can get in minutes. Small, fast, friendly, and helpful. M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of quality meal ideas. One aisle.
Break it down.
What's it really like?
Yeah. Break it down.
How far would you walk for someone you love? How far would you go to help end muscular dystrophy, breast cancer, and Alzheimer's? John Davidson is walking across Canada to raise money for research that promises a brighter future for thousands of Canadian families affected by genetic diseases. This is John's tribute to his son Jesse. It's Jesse's journey, and it's our journey too. Please give generously at any branch of the Royal Bank.
CTV Sportsnet's coverage of the GMC World Curling Tour is brought to you by GMC, makers of the totally redesigned Sierra and proud sponsor of the GMC World Curling Tour. By Molson, what beer's all about. And by M&M Meat Shops, hundreds of meal ideas all in one aisle.
Well, the Middaugh machine continues to chew up the opposition and spit it out. Here in London, Ontario, Wayne Middaugh defeating Kerry Burtnyk 8-2. Next week, the Bell Express View Curling Classic from the North Bay Granite Club, Sunday and Monday. Please check your local listings, and a great field indeed on hand in North Bay. Coming up, 10:30 in all regions except in the West that comes after curling. Kevin Quinn and Darren Millard will be there. Burtnyk just happy to get out alive against Wayne Middaugh, the champion again. For Ed Lukowicz and the entire CTV crew, I'm Rob Foltz. Take care, everybody.